Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to create something a little bit different from what we usually do. I am going to create a bralette but using the less fabric on the lower part of the bralette. So I have tried this before and these are the results from what I've done in the past. So I wanted to introduce you to this technique. This is very good, especially for those people who don't know how to crochet different designs at the lower part of the crochet bralette, but then also it is a quick project in case you don't have enough time to sit and work through the hectic patterns on the lower part of the bralette. So I have my lace fabric here. I decided to go for the same exact yarn color. This yarn is called gazaal. It's from Hobiam Yarns, and the hook that I'll be using for this project is a 2.5mm crochet hook. It's on the smaller side so that I get kind of tight stitches that are not so see-through. So go ahead and just choose your colors. You can use a different color for the lace fabric and then a different color for the crochet bra cups, or whatever you wish to use. That's really up to you. So this is the yarn that I'm using, and it is 125 meters or 137 yards, and you just need one ball of this for this project. Doesn't matter the size. And then you also need a darning needle and a pair of scissors. And yeah, let's get started and learn how to work this. So for this project, I'll start with creating my bra cups. I'm going to put this away for now, and I'm going to use a ball of yarn that's already open. So here we are, and we're just going to create bra cups. So for the bra cups, we are going to start off with a slip knot. Get your crochet hook and create your slip knot. So this is my slip knot, and now we're going to make a chain that is we're going to make a chain of 18. I'll be demonstrating for a size medium, but for all the other sizes, I'll be leaving all the instructions on the screen. So I'm going to create a chain of 18. So yarn over, pull through. That's one chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we have our 18 chains right now, and I'm demonstrating for a size medium. So for all the other sizes, check the screen or in the description box below. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 2, and that counts as a double crochet. Keep note of that. So we're going to go into the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. Into the third chain, we're going to place our double crochet. Let's do that again. A double crochet is yarn over. Insert our hook into the next chain, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet, and we're going to continue to double crochet all the way across until we get to the second last chain, because the last chain is going to get something a little bit different. So I'm placing my double crochet into the second last chain, and we have one more chain left. And now we are going to go into that last chain with a total of 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3, all in the same chain. And then we are going to chain 1 and go into the same exact chain with a total of 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So we've placed a total of 6 double crochets, 3 on this side, chain 1, and 3 on this side, all in the same chain. Now we're going to start working on this side of the bra cup, and as we work on this side, we're going to weave in this tail. So prepare for a double crochet, and we're going to go into the lower side of the chains. So you can see the chains here. You go in and place a double crochet, but while we are doing this, we're weaving in this tail. So make sure you go around it, and make sure you place a double crochet into each and every chain. So I hope you're seeing what I'm doing clearly, and I hope you're getting the explanations well. Make sure you don't skip any chain at all, and make sure you don't place 2 stitches into one chain. So just be careful and place only 1 stitch into each and every chain. And now we are placing into the very last chain. But then remember, I told you that the chain 2 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet. That means we are going to place 1 double crochet into that last chain that's part of the chain 2 at the beginning of the row. So this is what we have. Make sure you can recognize the chain 1 space at the top of the bra cup, that space there. So this is what we have for row 1, and our rows are going to come like this. That will be row 2. Row 3 will come like this all the way down. So let's go to row 2 and see how to make that. You're going to make a chain of 2, and that counts as a double crochet. Turn your work, and since this counts as a double crochet, we don't place a double crochet into the very first stitch here. We just go directly into the next stitch with 1 double crochet, and continue to double crochet into each and every double crochet below until we get to the chain 1 space. So just keep placing 1 double crochet into each double crochet below until we get to the chain 1 space. So I'm placing my double crochet into the stitch before the chain 1 space, and you can see the chain 1 space is here. So into the chain 1 space, you're going to place a total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 double crochets into the same space. So 1 and 2. So we've placed 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space from the row below. And now we're going to continue to place 1 double crochet into each double crochet from the previous row until the end of the row. So just continue to place 1 double crochet into each stitch. Alright, so we are almost coming to the end of the row, and I'm placing so we're coming to the end of row 2, and we shall place 1 double crochet into this stitch. And since I told you that the chain 2, the chain 2 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet, make sure you always don't miss it. You always place 1 double crochet into it. Make sure you don't miss it, because if you do, your bra-cup will start moving upwards instead of a flat bra-cup base. So row 3 is basically going to be the same as row 2. You just chain 2, turn your work, go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet and continue to double crochet all the way up. You're going to continue to double crochet all the way up until the chain 1 space, and when you get to the chain 1 space, you'll place 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, and then double crochet all the way down, placing only 1 double crochet into each and every stitch until the very last stitch, which is the chain 2. So make sure you always don't forget to go into the top chain of the chain 2, because it counts as a double crochet. So we're just going to repeat that row back and forth until our bra-cup builds to the size that is required for the coverage for the different sizes. So I'll be working and I'll be back to let you know how many rows to do for the several sizes, or how many rows that I did for the size that I'm making for, which is a medium. Alright, so I continued to work my row 2 until I had a total of 9 rows for the size medium. And if you still have this strand lying around, you can just pull on it and cut, and then pull in the middle of the bra-cup just to get rid of that. And these are 9 rows for my bra-cup. And now you're going to just pull so that you leave a loop behind, and then cut your yarn, leaving a long strand behind, because we have to attach this bra-cup onto the lace. So you're going to have to make sure that you've left a long enough strand behind to attach onto the lace. So you are going to do the same exact thing as you did for the first bra-cup. For the second one, I have mine ready here. I still have my 9 rows, and you can see something, you should have something that's a little bit identical, so that you don't have one bra-cup very big and then the other one very small. So just go ahead and do your second bra-cup, and also leave a long strand behind when you're done with it. Just pull so that you leave a loop behind, and then leave a long strand when you cut your yarn from the ball of yarn. So we are now going to go on to the next step. Once you have this ready, this is not gospel truth. If you feel like you need some more rows to add to your coverage, go ahead and do that. If you feel like you need less rows, just undo 1 row and keep trying it on yourself, so that you have the coverage that you wish to have for your bra-cup. So once you have the number of rows that you need for your bra cups and you've done both of your bra cups and they are ready to attach, we are now going to introduce our lace fabric, which is this. I know the colors are not matching so well, but the shade is really close. So you're going to cut your lace fabric in a way that it can go around your under bust, but not completely. At least leave room for about 1 inch or 2 so that it doesn't go around your under bust completely. So once you have the length that you want for yours, you're going to just fold it into 2 and you're going to mark the exact middle point. Let me just put my crochet hook through there. And this is the exact middle of the lace design. Now we are going to place our bra cups in a way that they start from the exact middle, moving outwards, and then same applies to this, from the exact middle, moving outwards. If you feel like you need some cleavage, some room for cleavage, then you're going to move a bit outwards, which I'm going to do. I think I'm going to leave about 1 inch in the middle of the 2 bra cups so that we don't have a very tight fitting in the middle of the breasts. So let me get a stitch marker, or let me just use a different hook to mark that point. Now from where you stopped your bra cup, you can see I chained 1 on this, so I'm going to just pull through and then do the same thing on this side. I hadn't chained 1 here, so I'll chain 1 and then just pull through. Okay, so as you can see, both the front side and the back side of the bra cup look the same. So I want to have the strings in the middle section of the top. I think I'll just do this, and I'll be attaching. I told you I'll leave some space behind. So if this is the exact middle part of my lace, I'll just leave half of this shell. I'll call it a shell, and then I start attaching from this point in the middle of this there, and then I'll start attaching this one from the middle of this shell, something like this. I hope I'm making a lot of sense. Something like that. Now you're going to introduce your darning needle. Your darning needle should be small. I don't know if I have a small one at the moment, but it should be small, just so that it can pass through those gaps without opening them up wide or tearing the lace design. So the first thing that you're going to consider is the kind of lace that you're working with. As you can see, we have shells, different shells, and then the middle strip. So you're going to just look at the pattern that you have for your lace design, because I believe everyone has a different design right now, and you're going to look at the number of rows that you have. Since I had 9, I have a total of 18 rows across the whole bra cup, and you're going to try to estimate. So for me, I have, it's like each shell takes up 2 rows of my bra cup, but then we also have this middle section. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that is a very big gap to fill into this bra cup. We are going to have to stretch it out so much if I just consider shells. So what I'll do, I'll consider one shell takes up 2 rows of the bra cup, and then the middle section also takes up 1 row of the bra cup. So that way we are going to attach. Get your darning needle. I have mine here, but so the other darning needle couldn't work for me because the yarn couldn't pass through it, so I'll use my normal darning needle like that, and I'm going to start attaching. So I'm going to remove this. I know that I'm starting from the middle of this shell, so I'm going to attach here, and then into the space between the shells, and then I'll go on this side of the shell, on this other side. Just find room where the darning needle can pass through, and then you attach. And then on the opposite side, which is around here, just find a hole where your darning needle can pass through and attach 1 row, and then go into the space, attach 1 row. I know this is not the neatest thing to do, but it's not even showing. If you can evenly space out your stitches, it won't even show to the public eye. So go on this side of the shell, attach 1 row, and then to the next side, attach the next row, and then into the space between the shells, attach a row, and we're just going to repeat this, continue doing this all the way across. Each shell gets 2 rows of the bra cup, don't forget that. And then each space between the shells gets 1 row of the bra cup. Okay. So we're coming to the end of the row, and I've placed my very last row of the bra cup into a shell here, as you can see. Now I'm going to go into this side and then place into the same exact row. And from there, I'm going to go into the edge of the last shell. Just make sure you have enough stitches towards the end just to secure your bra cup enough. And then you can turn your work onto the wrong side. I don't know what the wrong side is going to be for you, but just turn your work onto the wrong side and weave in this tail into the bra cup. Make sure you're weaving it into the bra cup, because at least there we have enough stitches to go back and forth. Okay, the moment you're done with that, you're going to cut your yarn. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, you have to make sure that you always use the same exact color to join so that we don't have anything weird. Because imagine if I had used a color like white to join, that would create a very huge contrast and something a little bit disorganized and unsightly for my top. So I am done with the first break up, and this is what we have. Alright, so now that we are done with our first break up, we're just going to mirror what we did for the first break up onto the second one. Making sure that the long strand that we left behind is in the middle so that we attach outwards. So I told you I'll be leaving some space in between the break ups. So I'll start from the middle of this shell. Just find a good balance for whatever lace pattern that you have, that you're using for your bralette. So you go into the first space. I know the pattern that I have, you may not find it anywhere because I have tried this before. I've tried to look for the same exact lace pattern and I failed. So just use whatever you have and fit it into the design. As long as you attach your break ups evenly, everything will be fine. And the other thing that I want to point out is when you're joining, make sure you go below that edge. If you can see, there's a thick edge on the upper bit of the lace. Make sure you don't press or pierce through it. Just work below it so that you don't tamper with the firm edge of the lace design. Alright, so we are done attaching both our break ups. You can see what we have is very, very beautiful. I'm actually excited about this because I have never done this approach for any of the break ups that I've used lace designs on. So we're going to do something else right now. You can see the general shape of the top has been achieved, but we don't have the straps yet. This is not a functional top yet. So we don't have the straps, and we don't have the straps to tie at the end of behind our back. So right now we have something that just looks like this. Not yet complete, but we're going to complete it right now. So you're going to grab your yarn. I'm going to use, of course, the same exact yarn because we have already determined the main color. So what we want to do is make a slip knot like that, and we are going to make a chain that's long enough for the strap that we want to go towards our back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 100 chains, and I think this is enough to go to the side of the strap. So we are now going to start working along the lace. So make sure you don't go into those edge holes. Just go a good distance in. So I'll start maybe from here. But make sure you don't go into that top edge that holds the lace together. So I'm just going to go into every space that I can go into with a single crochet, but making sure that I don't tear the lace design. So I think we've gotten to the, you can see what that has created. We have this string that's going to pull on our bralette so that it can tie around the underbust. So after this, we are going to create the edging around the bra cups. So chain 1, skip the first stitch, go into the next with 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next, and we're just going to repeat that all the way up until we get to the chain 1 space. This is completely optional. You can do the edging if you want. If you don't want, you can leave it out. This is something that I've decided to do as I go, because I feel like it's going to create a very neat finish for our bralette. And the fact that our bralette didn't have an edging, and I don't like projects without edgings, then I feel like this is the best approach for it. But if you feel like this is not something that you want to do, once you get to this point, just continue to place 1 single crochet into each and every stitch, create a strap, come back on it, and then single crochet all the way across. Alright, so we have 1 more stitch left. I'm going to chain 1 and go into, I'm going to skip that stitch and go into the chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same space, like that. And then we are going to continue creating this mesh pattern on this side as well. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 1 double crochet, and continue to do that all the way down. Alright, so once you get to the lower part of the bra cup, this is what you should have. So you can see that mesh edge, and now we are going to prepare for a double crochet and go into the very first stitch on this side. And that has created something like this. And then we're going to continue to work the mesh all the way up. The mesh design. Alright, so let me just do that and I'll be back when I get to this part. So you're going to just repeat the same exact thing that you did here. Just go up, and then in the chain 1 space you'll place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and go down with the mesh design. And then when you come here, you're going to just single crochet along and then make your chain of 100, and then I'll meet you back at that point. Okay, so we are back, and I've created that mesh pattern all over, and I've created my second strap on the opposite side, and this is what we have right now. Now you're going to cut your yarn from this side and then reattach it. We're still working on our backups because we don't want the lace to be, that mesh pattern to be our final row, because it doesn't look as neat. So you're going to attach your yarn into the very first space of the mesh pattern around the edging of the backup. And what you're going to do is chain 3 and place 3 double crochets into the same exact space. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and 1 single crochet into the next chain 1 space. Then chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same space, like that. Then 1 single crochet into the next, 1 single crochet into the next, chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same exact space. So that's the repeat until we get to the top of our backup. So just repeat that: chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same exact space, single crochet into the next space, and single crochet into the next chain 1 space. Chain 3, okay. So I think you're seeing the difference. I think right now you can see a little bit of more finish as compared to what we had before. This is way better than having our backup left like this. So for me, everything is about the final touch. So that's where I put so much emphasis, and that's where you have your chance to shine and show your uniqueness and stand out from what's already in the market. Right, single crochet, single crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same space, single crochet into the next. And now we've reached the top part of our backup. I'm going to just skip this and then single crochet into the next, and then single crochet into the space. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to chain 3 double crochet into the same chain 2 space, chain 3 double crochet in between the 2 double crochets below, chain 3 double crochet between the 2 double crochets below that space there, chain 3 double crochet, and you're going to do that until you get the strap that you want for your top. So I think I'm going to do about 50 segments for mine, and each segment is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so maybe 30 or 50. I'll let you know when I am done. Alright, so I have a total of 35 segments, and now we're going to go back on it. So chain 3 and go into the space of the first segment and place a single crochet, chain 3, go into the space of the next segment and place a single crochet, and we're just going to repeat that until we get back to the bra cup. So I have a detailed video on how to do these straps that are not very thin and tiny, and I'll be leaving the link on the screen for you guys to go and check it out if you've been struggling to find the suitable straps for your crochet projects. This can really help you out. Alright, so we're coming back to the body of the top. And this is what we have for our strap, the one that's going to tie behind the neck. So after this, we are just going to mirror what's on this side. So whatever I did on this side, I'm just single crocheting until the very first space. So I'll place a single crochet in there as well, and then chain 3 double crochets into the same exact space, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. So we go back to what we were doing here. So chain 3, double crochet 3 times into the same exact space, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And we're going to repeat that all the way down. Okay. Alright, so we are almost coming to the exact middle, and I'm placing 1 single crochet here. So what I'll do, I'll cross over onto this side and place a single crochet like that. Because we have a single crochet on this side, so we place a single crochet here and then single crochet into the next and continue with the pattern. Chain 3 double crochets, 1 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next. So this is what we have, and we're just going to mirror exactly what we did on this bra cup onto this one. So just go ahead and work until you get to this point. I'll meet you back here. Okay, so we are back. I made it all the way here, and what I did was just chain 1, cut my yarn, and then I got loose of the loose strand by weaving in the end. So this is what we have. Let me untie these upper straps. You can see the thickness of the straps at the top is quite big as compared to the ones on the side. So this, if you want them thicker, then you can go ahead and do the same exact approach as this, but at least I've showed you both ways, either a plain chain or the straps that are a little bit more sturdy. and this is what we've come up with. And when we turn our work to the wrong side, you will just have to tie this like this. And then you leave this lace pattern hanging. We don't need to tie it up and pull on it at all because it can get torn. So when we turn our work to the right side, we shall have something that looks like this. And then for those who would like to pad their work, you can get breast pads and also include them into your project. But that is totally optional. Some people don't like them, some people like them, so just do you, or do what your client requests for. And that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm so in love with this top, and I believe I'll do some more of these, and I will probably see you in my next video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know what you think about this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.